It had no business being there, but tucked in the debt ceiling deal was the approval of the Mountain Valley Pipeline. You know, the big gas project in Virginia and West Virginia that many environmental activists and scientists have opposed for years because of all the environmental disaster it's caused and the potential to become a climatic bomb. Reminder, we need to move away from fossil fuels if we want to meet our US climate goals and help mitigate the climate crisis. And this pipeline would only operate for decades to come. The agreement basically forces federal agencies to allow and approve any outstanding permits within 21 days of this act being signed. And these permits are exempt from judicial review. Now, the pipeline approval is not the only controversial environmental or climatic provisions in this deal. It also makes changes to the National Environmental Policy Act, NEPA for short, by shortening the timeframe on environmental reviews for new projects, which is basically just a way of getting big projects done faster. And this is for both fossil fuel projects and clean renewable energy, which seems like a good thing, no? Well, the controversy here is that NEPA for decades has required federal agencies to review any and all potential environmental impacts of projects before approving them, and also allow the public and environmental groups to comment in the process. The deal, however, went from perfectly stating that the review had to include the environmental impact of the proposed action to something more abstract, saying reasonably foreseeable environmental effects. It also shortens the review time to 1 to 2 years, depending on how complex the project is, which environmental advocates fear could make it harder for the public to participate, especially groups that have been marginalized and suffer the most from these kind of energy projects. There are some clear wins though. Democrats were able to secure funding for a study that looks into the expansion of transmission lines across the United States. Although the hope was for actual implementation and expansion of transmission lines, as well as clean projects like solar and wind. Another win is the fact that the debt ceiling deal did not affect the Inflation Reduction Act. Therefore, more than 100,000 jobs in the green sector are safe. Despite all the back and forth between Democrats and Republicans, President Biden was actually able to protect all the achievements that came from the IRA. You see, the initial debt ceiling proposal from Republicans wanted to eliminate green tax credits offered to companies that build EVs, batteries, charging stations, and renewable energy facilities, among others. But ultimately, those Republican wishes did not make the cut. Other than the pipeline's completion being expedited, the environmental impacts from this deal are still unknown. But one thing is for sure, that if we want to meet our climate goals and help mitigate the climate crisis, we need better infrastructure and to modernize the grid.